Alright, here we are with the new project. Just picked this thing up last night. It's a 2009 Yamaha Zuma 50 two-stroke. Ended up getting this thing for what I think is a pretty good deal. I paid $300 for it. The seller originally had it posted for $1,000, knocked it down to $600. I offered him $250 and he countered at $300, which was good enough for me. So the story with this thing is he used to commute on it apparently back before COVID. Then COVID happened and he started working from home, and I guess no longer rode it, was in the middle of a house remodel, and basically just parked it for the last, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years or something like that. I definitely think he's telling the truth just based on the amount of dust that it has on it. It looks like it's been sitting in his garage for quite a while. He did say he had these Pirelli tires put on at one point. So that's nice. Those have been replaced, no longer original. A couple little, I guess, broken items off the bat. These little fork boots are cracked. This little trim piece here is cracked, and it's supposed to have a rear mud flap coming off the back there that's missing. I've got 2 more of these pretty much exact scooters, so I'll probably, rob the parts that I can off of those rather than waiting for the parts to come in. Pop the hood, pop the seat here. The oil cover's cracked too, so I got a new one of those on Amazon for like $14. We'll go ahead and just do a quick look, take a look in the gas. I'm super stoked to see that it doesn't look like the tank is rusty whatsoever. It smells a little bit like old gas, so I'll probably either just drain that out or just dilute it with some new and see if we can get this thing fired up. I had the battery on the charger all night. It's still the same battery he's had in it, so who knows how old that is. It did show that it charged up. So I think that's about all I got for the walk around. Let's get this thing in the garage, get some tools out, see if we can get it fired up. Oh yeah, it's got 9,075 miles, so kind of high. My other Zumas one has like 500 miles, the other one's about 4,500. So this is a little bit higher mileage, but from what I've heard, these things run forever. So hoping it's just an easy charge of battery, get some fresh fuel in it, maybe clean the carb worst case, and hopefully this thing will be fired up. So I tried to start siphoning out the gas, but there's so little fuel in there, I couldn't even get it to pull a vacuum. I mean, it's going to be hard to see on video, but there's maybe an 1/8 inch of fuel on the bottom of that tank. Hardly anything. It doesn't smell too terrible, so I'm probably just going to try to dilute it and see if we can get her running off that, because this tank is pretty much perfectly clean. So before I try and crank this thing over, full disclosure, I put the battery on the charger last night just to see if kind of things turned on. They do, but when I turned the key, I had a low oil light. So the oil tank is behind this panel right here. I just want to make sure the previous owner didn't happen to fully run the tank out of oil and potentially causing this thing to blow up. So just before I try to start it, I want to check that, make sure we've got oil in it. Obviously this is a oil injected machine, so you fill the oil tank and it's got an independent oil pump that sends oil right to the carb. So here's our oil tank. Looks like the level is right about there. I'm going to go ahead and just add a little bit to it, just to make sure we're topped off and above that oil sensing mark. But looks like we have plenty in here. So on all my two-stroke machines, I run this Maxima Super M. There's a million different brands you can get, but this has always worked really good for me. All right, so got enough in. We're up to here now, about halfway. So plenty of oil. Gonna throw this panel back on the backrest, and then we'll try to give it a start. So I'm almost positive we're gonna have to clean the carb on this thing just because how long it's been sitting, but figured let's go ahead and try to kick it over, just see if anything happens. Battery's completely toast, so I'm just gonna kick start it. Not a chance. Let's pull that carb off and clean it out real quick. So I have gotten these carbs out from the bottom before, but just for ease of doing it, I'm gonna go ahead and just strip this, I guess, fender and seat assembly. So now you can see why I chose to take all that paneling and seat assembly off. We got the carb right here, and access will be way better. This is our air box down here. Luckily, the previous owner never put the bolts in, so we should just be able to pull this hose loose. Take this clamp loose on the carb here. And that should pull right off. So here we got the carb. We've got one electrical connector right there. This little guy right here is our oil line. That'll just pull straight off. Or at least it should. Oh, it's got a clamp on there. This in my hand here is the vacuum line to the petcock. And this here's our fuel supply. I'm gonna go grab a flathead, help me get these parts off. Sorry I missed that last footage getting the carb off. Phone died. Got the carb off the bike. One thing I did notice, you can look this up in other videos, but the 2009 Zumas have a special throttle mod. Stock, they have kind of a nub that comes off right about here, and you can see that this has been dremeled back, so the throttle wheel has more throw all the way to that stopper. So that's kind of nice. I was planning on doing that mod anyways, since this is a 2009, but one less thing I have to do now. Also, one of the screws that holds on this throttle and choke cable bracket was stripped. One note on that, so that doesn't happen to you guys. Get yourself one of these nice Vessel JIS screwdrivers. It looks like a Phillips, but it's not. Any Japanese machine you work on is going to be JIS. You can't see it on this one, but they'll have a little dot on the screw head that denotes that. So I'm 100% sure the reason that's stripped out is just someone trying to use a normal Phillips on it. But I grabbed it with the vice grips and was able to get it free. So let's crack open this carb and see what it looks like. My guess is we're going to have a clogged pilot jet. The pilot jets in these machines are super, super tiny, so they'll clog easy, you know, with just a few months or even a year of sitting. Honestly, not bad at all. And I was able to get that off without breaking the gasket. So let's pull that pilot jet out and see what it looks like. This little guy here is the pilot. I kind of smell some old gas, so I'm thinking this thing has got to be clogged. We'll take out the main two. Might as well clean both of those out. Best way to check for a clogged jet is just hold it up to the light and see if you can see through it. This one I can see just a tiny, tiny bit, but it's definitely clogged. The main jet's wide open. Looks like we have an 80 main and 44 pilot, I think, which is stock. So we'll just grab a touch of carb cleaner here for this pilot jet. And then I like to just use compressed air to blow through them. Usually that'll do the trick. And she's clear. Blow the main out as well. Go dump this out in the trash real quick. And just for fun, let's go ahead and pull the float and float needle out. Check those passages and make sure that those are clear too. I don't know if it'll focus there, but the float needle looks super good. There's no groove worn in it or anything like that. I don't see any junk down in the needle seat, although I'll give all the passages here in the carb just a real quick spray. Judging by the fuel I'm seeing come out of this, it looks like someone put stable in it, which is nice. The fuel's got a pretty heavy red tint. So that's probably the reason that this carb looks so good and isn't really gummed up at all. But I'm gonna go ahead, throw this back together off camera and throw it on the bike, and we'll see if we can get a start. So we're going back onto the carb, or back on with the carb rather. Got it back in the intake boot. The vacuum line goes on that port right there. The fuel supply goes here, and obviously I'll tighten that clamp down, or wiggle it down rather. Here's our oil line. It's gonna be kind of hard to see there, but there is a little fitting right down there that it goes onto. And then the biggest thing with this is make sure you take a screwdriver, slide this brass clamp all the way over that post to make sure the oil line never comes off. So I went ahead and got our last throttle cable bracket on there. Just put a notch in that screw with the angle grinder, that one that was all stripped out, so you know it's at least usable with the big flathead. Also pulled the airbox apart real quick, checked the filter. Obviously it's not brand new, but it's not disintegrating or anything like that, so I think it's definitely runnable for now. Gonna throw this airbox on and see if we can get it to start. I've read a comment somewhere that these machines wouldn't start without the back pressure from the air filter. Don't know if that's true or not, but I'm gonna throw it on real quick and we'll give it a couple kicks. Alright, airbox is on, and I got this last connector hooked up, so I think we're ready to fire. Did want to mention real quick, one thing that's definitely problematic with these old Zumas is there's a vacuum petcock up under the tank there. Those definitely corrode. There's a diaphragm in it that'll wear out with age. So what I did to test it is I left this vacuum line here in my hand hooked up to the carb, but I removed this supply line and kicked it over and just made sure that I got a little bit of fuel coming out of that line. That tells me that the diaphragm in the tank is good and the tank's at least getting fuel to the carb. So let's go ahead and try to start it up. I didn't have enough hands to check for sparks, so we're just going to go for it. I squirted a little bit of fuel down the cylinder, see if it starts. I forgot to turn the engine run button on. So it does start a little bit. It feels like potentially the electric choke's not working, Might need to have the battery installed for that to function. I'm guessing that's why it starts and doesn't want to stay running. Alright, I know it's getting dark, but just swap the battery in from another scooter. Let's see if that helps. Oh, come on. So I don't know if somebody maybe fogged the motor before they put it into storage, and that's why there's so much smoke. It definitely should not be smoking anywhere near this much. But I guess at least the oil pump's working. It'll probably be tomorrow, but we'll throw the seat, the side plastics back on it, and take it for a ride. But as of right now, it seems to be idling really good. Might just need to clear it out from storage or whatever kind of oil they put down in it. But stoked on the progress for tonight, and we'll pick back up probably tomorrow. All right, let's swap this little, I guess, footrest out. You can see the existing one's broken. I just stole this one off another Zuma that I've got. I looked on Partzilla. It was back ordered, I think like 15 to 20 days. So I'll just put this one on that I've got, and I'll order the Partzilla one to fix my other Zuma that I'll be keeping. But my priority right now is just trying to get this one done. I've got a set of decals for it coming that go on these side fenders here. And I've got that broken oil cap coming. But as soon as those two items arrive, I'd like to have this thing up and listed for sale. So for whatever reason, whoever had this before kind of blacked it out, took off all the stickers and decals, so obviously they missed a few. Gonna go ahead and just clean these up so it looks a little bit better. Alright, this little duckbill was missing off this Zuma when I got it. The other Zuma that I have has this part as well, so I just robbed this. Figured while we're at it, we'd do a quick gear oil change. These Zumas, I use 110 milliliters of this 85 140 gear oil that I just get from the parts store. The drain bolt is right here. It can be removed with a 12mm socket, and then I'll just drain it into this cup here. You'll refill via that white plug with 110 milliliters of fluid. All right, my new oil cap just came in. I got it off Amazon, but it's OEM part. There's a part number. So let's swap out this broken one. This is the second Zuma I've had that this has been broken, so guessing it's a common part to go bad. Alright, so now that we got it running good, we're going to put some new decals on. Picked these up on eBay for like 25 bucks. Thought it added a lot, since obviously the graphics were stripped on the scooter when I bought it. Already cleaned with some isopropyl alcohol, like I always do when installing graphics. Gives you way better adhesion. So let's go ahead and toss these on. So when I got this, it was missing the two airbox bolts here and here. So I've got just a spare bolt kit of metric bolts. I'm gonna toss those in real quick. Here's the OEM bolt. Has a Phillips head. Had a couple of these in my toolkit. It's the exact same length, and it's a 8mm head, which is nice. Alright, the scooter's all together. Let's fire it up and do a test ride before we post it for sale. One thing I mentioned when I first started this flip was I was going to replace the fork boots. I decided not to. Didn't want to wait for shipping on them, and they look like kind of a pain to remove. And I'll just let any future buyer use that as a negotiating point. So let's try to start this thing up and take it for a ride. I think the new graphics added a lot. Alright, it's going to be hard to film this. I couldn't get to the oil tank with just a side panel, so I had to basically strip it down again. Let's pull this oil line off and see what's going on here. I have a suspicion, and just based on the color of that oil, I don't know if you guys can see that really well. Just with it being golden like that, I don't know if maybe the previous owner just put like 4-stroke engine oil in it or what. But whatever oil it is, it's not burning very well. So I'm gonna let it drain a little bit until I see it coming out red like my Super M. Alright, so it's the next day. Drained all the oil out of the tank overnight. Here on the left is what came out. You can see it's super dark. The stuff on the right is just the Maxima Super M. It's supposed to be smokeless, it's definitely not, but pretty high quality oil that I use. So filled the tank back up with the Super M here on the right, and it is smoking way less. So gonna put her together, take her for a ride, and see if it's improved. Hopefully it was just a problem of super cheap oil. Alright guys, so wanted to go through the sale and how much I made on this project. So I had this black Zuma to sell along with another blue 2009 that I had with a little bit less miles. I own 3 of these scooters, so I had to at least get rid of 2 of them, free up some space in the garage. So I posted these for $2,000 as a package deal price, or $1,200 for the blue one and $950 for this black one. Someone bought it literally the next day and asked me to deliver it for an extra $100. So I sold the pair for $2,100. The guy was super happy. He doesn't even own a car. He owned one of these in the past and it blew up, so he was happy to get a replacement. As far as money invested, I bought it for $300, put $40 into parts that I bought from Partzilla to replace what I took off my other scooters, spent about $15 between shop supplies and Maxima oil, bringing my total parts cost to $55. So I had a total invested of $355, sold it for $950, and made $595 on the deal. Dividing that out per hour, I made about $119 per hour since I had 5 hours into the project. I was really happy with this. I usually try to double my money on flips, and obviously I did even a little bit better than that here. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'll look forward to posting another flip here soon.